be on the internet acting like my brother just and y'all know my brother ain't dead. On the internet acting like y'all just my brother. You know for a fact y'all doing it because he can't come back to Atlanta.
He sent a song from the last app. Yeah, he sent a song for it. Then goddamn, when it's time to clear the song, he don't clear the song. So the song didn't make the album.
Clear.
The internet is on fire right now after what fans claim is the most shocking leak of the year. An alleged audio of Young Thug himself snitching on Lil Durk. Yeah, you heard that right. In a case already loaded with drama, conspiracy, and betrayal, this so-called leak has flipped the hip-hop world upside down. The clips circulating on Twitter, Reddit, and hip-hop blogs supposedly captures Thugger's voice in a quiet conversation, dropping details that point straight at Durk. The audio is scratchy, distorted, and short, but the implications, massive. Fans are already split down the middle. Is this the smoking gun, or is someone playing games with editing software to spark chaos? Now, let's be clear, nothing about this is confirmed, but that hasn't stopped the hip-hop community from going absolutely wild. Memes are flying, group chats are buzzing, and Young Thug's snitch has already started trending. Some fans are defending him, saying the voice doesn't even sound like Thug. Others are swearing up and down it's 100% real and that this changes everything. But here's the kicker. The alleged leak didn't just come out of nowhere. The timing is suspicious. Just as the court drama surrounding YSL heats up, suddenly this evidence appears. Coincidence or somebody trying to sabotage both Thug and Durk at once? And you know what that means? If this audio is real, alliances in the rap game could shatter overnight. If it's fake, then somebody just pulled off the most dangerous troll of the year. The hip-hop world is in chaos right now. Because if the latest leak is to be believed, Young Thug may have done the one thing rappers swear they'd never do: snitch. Yes, you heard that right. An audio recording has surfaced online, and fans claim it captures none other than Thugger himself mentioning Lil Durk's name in connection to street activities. Whether it's authentic or a deepfake doesn't even matter at this point, because the damage to Thug's reputation is already underway. And the way the internet has reacted, it's nothing short of explosive. Let's rewind for a second. Young Thug, the Atlanta rap icon, is already knee-deep in one of the most high-profile legal battles in music history. His YSL case has dragged on for months, with prosecutors painting YSL as a full-fledged criminal enterprise. While Thug and his team insist it's nothing more than a record label, every single move he makes is under the microscope. Every court appearance, every lawyer statement, every whisper online. Now add to that a leaked audio clip allegedly capturing him throwing Lil Durk under the bus. And suddenly, the internet has a whole new storm to feed on. The clip itself is grainy, muffled, and short. You can't hear the full conversation, but you can allegedly make out Thugger's voice mentioning Durk by name. And in the culture of hip-hop where no snitching is practically a sacred law, that's all people needed to go wild. Fans on Twitter immediately split into camps. One side claiming Thug sold Durk out, while the other insists this has to be a deepfake generated to smear his name. But here's the thing. Perception often matters more than reality. Even if the clip turns out to be fake, the internet doesn't wait for confirmation. Memes have already been made. YouTubers are already dissecting the audio with waveform software like they're CSI agents. And bloggers are writing hot takes about how this could be the end of Thug's reputation as a street-certified artist. The conversation is happening in real time, and Thug doesn't even have a chance to defend himself before the world decides what it believes. Now, let's talk about why this leak feels so dangerous. Young Thug and Lil Durk aren't just two random rappers. They're both titans in their cities, Atlanta and Chicago, to places where rap, music, and street politics have always been deeply intertwined. For years, Durk has been seen as the voice of Chicago's drill scene, while Thug redefined Atlanta's sound with his eccentric flows and fearless style. To pit them against each other, whether intentionally or not, is like lighting a match in a room full of gasoline. And you already know how fans are. They don't just watch the drama, they fuel it. Within hours of the leak, Hashtags like #ThugSnitch and #FreeDurk started trending. Some fans accuse the justice system of leaking the audio deliberately to turn rappers against one another. Others believe rival camps might have released it, hoping to create division. And then you've got the conspiracies people swearing that this is all part of a bigger plan to dismantle hip-hop's biggest stars one by one. Here's the reality. In the rap game, your reputation is everything. Street credibility can't be bought no matter how much money you have. Once people start whispering that you might be a snitch, it sticks like glue. Just ask Tekashi 6ix9ine. He may still be making music, but his reputation has been permanently tainted. And now, the fear is that Thug might face the same fate. The wildest part. Some fans are pointing out that this leak comes at a suspiciously convenient time. With the YSL case struggling to secure a clear conviction, could this be a strategic move by prosecutors or even rivals to weaken Thug's standing? Or could it simply be clout chasers pushing a fake audio clip just to get attention? That's the million-dollar question. And right now, nobody has the answers. But let's not forget about Lil Durk in all this. For him, this leak is a nightmare too. Even if he hasn't said a word about it, just having his name thrown into the chaos could cause legal headaches. Prosecutors could use this kind of rumor to justify new investigations, and fans could start looking at him sideways. For someone who's been fighting to stay clear of legal trouble and focus on his music, this is the last thing he needs. What makes this situation even crazier is how fragile alliances in hip-hop can be. Today, you're collaborators, tomorrow, you're enemies. And sometimes all it takes is a single rumor to break the trust. If Durk believes this leak, even for a second, could this be the end of his relationship with Thug? Could we be watching the collapse of one of rap's most powerful alliances? This is why the leak has people glued to their screens. It's not just about whether the audio is real. It's about what it represents: betrayal, division, and the potential implosion of two major rap empires. Fans are asking, if Thug really did name-drop Durk, what does that mean for the code of the streets? Is anyone safe anymore? Or has the line between loyalty and survival blurred beyond recognition? So far, neither Thug nor Durk has publicly addressed the leak. Their silence is fueling even more speculation. In hip-hop, silence can mean a lot of things: damage control, legal advice, or just letting the storm blow over. But the longer they wait, the more people fill in the blanks with their own theories. And you already know the internet doesn't need facts to spin a story, it just needs fuel. And this leak is jet fuel. At the end of the day, this story is bigger than just an audio clip. It's about trust, loyalty, and the unspoken rules of the hip-hop world. Whether Thug actually snitched or not, his name is now forever linked with the possibility. And in a culture where reputation is everything, that's a stain that's hard to wash off. The only question left is, who leaked this and why? Because whether it's real or not, one thing is certain: somebody wanted to see young Thug and Lil Durk dragged into the mud. And right now, it's working. As the leaked audio continued to spread like wildfire, the fallout only grew more intense. What started as a murky, hard-to-hear clip quickly transformed into a cultural earthquake. Blogs picked it up. Hip-hop Twitter dissected it frame by frame. YouTubers slowed down the audio, enhanced the vocals, and compared the voice to previous Young Thug interviews. And before long, the narrative was set. Young Thug just snitched on Lil Durk. But here's the twist. Nobody can confirm whether the tape is authentic. Some say the cadence and tone match Thug perfectly. Others argue that AI voice cloning has gotten so advanced, this could easily be a deepfake. Yet, in the court of public opinion, the truth often matters less than the perception. And perception right now, not looking good for Thug. Let's talk about the streets for a second. In hip-hop, the no snitching code isn't just a cliche. It's a survival rule. From the early days of NWA to the present, rappers have built their reputations on loyalty, silence, and standing 10 toes down. The moment you're labeled a snitch, your credibility evaporates. Fans stop seeing you as real, rivals see you as vulnerable, and your own allies. They start wondering if you'd throw them under the bus next. That's why the comparison to Tekashi 6ix9ine came so quickly. When 6ix9ine testified against his own crew, he became one of the most infamous snitches in rap history. He tried to bounce back musically, but the respect was gone. And now critics are already saying Thug is at risk of walking the same path. First 6ix9ine, now Thug. One fan tweeted, "The streets are done, but there's another side to this. Thug isn't 6ix9ine. He wasn't some internet troll parachuting into gang life for clout. Thug is Atlanta royalty, respected, feared, and admired for years. He's the guy who gave us Barter 6, Jeffrey, and countless features that shaped the modern rap sound." For some fans, that history means they're not ready to believe he'd ever snitch. They argue the tape has to be fake, a setup designed to tarnish his name while he's vulnerable in court. Common, one commenter wrote, "Thugger built YSL from the ground up. Why would he flip on Durk now? Doesn't make sense. Durk now. Doesn't make sense." Still, logic doesn't always win in the social media era. Once a rumor catches fire, it becomes its own truth. And the memes. They're ruthless. One viral post shows Thug in a courtroom with a speech bubble. It was Durk. "Your Honor." Another shows a mock album cover titled Snitch Season. Even if it's meant as a joke, every meme chips away at his reputation. Now let's bring Lil Durk into the picture. For him, this situation is a double-edged sword. On one hand, if fans believe Thug implicated him, Durk gets to play the victim, a loyal Chicago rapper betrayed by his supposed brother. That narrative could actually boost his credibility. But on the other hand, having his name tied to an ongoing criminal trial is dangerous. Even if it's just gossip, prosecutors love to use public narratives as ammunition. And the last thing Durk needs is more legal eyes on him. Industry insiders are already speculating what this means for Atlanta and Chicago's connection. For years, Thug and Durk have represented two of the most influential movements in hip-hop. If this leak creates real tension between their camps, it could fracture relationships across the industry. Imagine collaborations being pulled, artists being forced to pick sides, and entire fan bases turning on each other. It's not just about two rappers, and let's not ignore the timing. Some analysts believe this leak couldn't have come at a worse or more convenient moment. With the YSL RICO case dragging on, prosecutors are under pressure to lock down convictions. Could this be a psychological play? A way to shake the foundation of Thug's support system by painting him as disloyal? After all, in court, perception of character can sway judges and juries just as much as evidence. Meanwhile, Thug's lawyers are surely scrambling. If the tape is fake, they'll need to prove it. If it's real, they'll need to argue context. Maybe it was a misinterpreted statement. Maybe it was taken out of proportion. But here's the hard truth. Once something like this leaks, the damage is already done. Even if the defense clears it up later, the internet doesn't issue retractions. The hip-hop media circus thrives on moments like this. Podcasts are asking, would you still bump Thug's music if he snitched? Comment sections are flooded with debates, some saying loyalty over everything. Others arguing anyone would fold facing life in prison. And that's another layer. People forget the human side. Thug isn't just a rapper. He's a man staring down decades behind bars. In that position, some argue survival might come before loyalty. But try explaining that to a fan base raised on the myth of unbreakable street codes. This brings us to a bigger question. What does snitching even mean anymore? In the past, it was simple testifying against your crew meant you were done. But in the modern rap game, with AI fakes, manipulated leaks, and legal systems designed to squeeze defendants, the line isn't so clear. Could it be that the culture needs to rethink what loyalty looks like in 2025? Or is the code of silence too ingrained to ever evolve? For now, the Young Thug leak has everyone on edge. Atlanta fans are defensive. Chicago fans are watching carefully. And the rest of the rap world? They're waiting for Durk's response. Because make no mistake, if Durk drops even a subtle bar about this in his next song, the drama will reach nuclear levels. The leaked tape has already started shaping narratives. But we're only at the beginning of this storm. The key players, Thug, Durk, their lawyers, and the courts haven't even made their moves yet. And until they do, the streets, the blogs, and the fans will keep spinning the wheel, turning speculation into spectacle. The question isn't just whether Young Thug snitched. It's whether this leak will mark a turning point in hip-hop itself, where the code of silence collides with the digital age of leaks and deepfakes. And if that's true, then the real story here isn't about Thug or Durk hits, about the future of rap credibility in a world where nobody knows. What's real anymore? As the dust settles, or rather, as it refuses to settle, the spotlight shifts squarely onto Lil Durk. Because in stories like this, silence can be louder than any statement. So far, Durk hasn't issued an official response to the alleged audio leak, but the streets are buzzing with anticipation. Everyone is waiting to see how he handles it. Option 1. He addresses it head-on. A fiery Instagram live. Maybe. Or a bar in his next track where he takes a subtle but cutting shot at Thug. Imagine Durk saying something like, "They tried to put my name in their paperwork." But real ones know the truth. Just one line could ignite a war of narratives, turning this from rumor into full-on beef. Option 2. He plays it cool. By refusing to acknowledge it, Durk might let the story die out faster. After all, sometimes responding gives legitimacy to a rumor. And let's not forget, Durk's been here before. He's navigated scandals, legal heat, and street drama without letting it derail his career. Playing the long game could actually work in his favor. But here's where things get tricky. The courts. If prosecutors catch wind of this leaked tape, whether real or fake, they could use it as leverage. Even if it's not admissible as evidence, they could float the idea to shake witnesses, intimidate defendants, and plant doubt in the jury's minds. That's the dangerous part. This isn't just rap gossip. Could bleed directly into legal strategy. And let's be real, for Young Thug, the timing is brutal. Already facing RICO charges that could lock him up for decades. The last thing he needs is to be painted as disloyal. Prosecutors thrive on division. If they can create cracks between Thug and his allies, whether it's Durk, YSL members, or other industry figures, weakens the foundation of his defense. Loyalty isn't just about the streets anymore. It's about survival in court. Meanwhile, fans are drawing parallels to history. Look back at Tupac and Biggie, two legends whose personal conflicts spiraled into industry-wide division. Now, some are asking, could Thug and Durk's rumored fallout trigger a new era of fractured alliances in hip-hop? It might sound dramatic, but when you're dealing with artists of this caliber, every move echoes across the culture. And what about the labels? Remember, both Thug and Durk are signed to major companies who care about one thing above all else: money. If executives believe this drama will hurt profits, they'll start pulling strings. Tours could be canceled. Features could be shelved. Future projects might be frozen until the smoke clears. In the business of rap, perception equals profit, and right now, perception is messy. The streets, however, don't care about corporate profits. For them, it's about respect, authenticity, and codes. That's why this leak has hit so hard. Whether true or fake, it threatens to unravel the image of two rappers who've long been seen as untouchable. If Durk responds aggressively, it could split fan bases in half. If Thug manages to prove the tape is fake, he might actually come out stronger, seen as a victim of sabotage. The stakes couldn't be higher. But let's zoom out for a second. Beyond Thug and Durk, this leak reflects something bigger: the role of technology in shaping hip-hop narratives. In the past, snitching was tied to courtroom testimony and paperwork. Now, a 30-second audio clip, real or AI-generated, can trigger worldwide headlines. It raises a chilling question. How will we know what's real in the future? And how many careers could be destroyed by fabricated leaks? That's why this moment isn't just about two rappers, it's about hip-hop's relationship with authenticity in the digital age. For decades, rap has thrived on keeping it real. But what happens when real itself becomes impossible to verify? When AI can mimic voices, when deepfakes can create footage, and when fans decide what's true based on memes instead of facts. Young Thug and Lil Durk may be the first to feel this heat, but they won't be the last. Every rapper, every label, every crew should be paying attention because this is the new battlefield. It's not just the streets or the courts, it's the internet. The internet never forgets. Still, one thing's certain. This saga isn't over. If Durk claps back, the feud could go nuclear. If Thug's lawyers move to discredit the tape, we might see a whole new front open in his RICO trial. And if neither side speaks, the fans will keep filling the silence with theories, memes, and speculation until something breaks. At the end of the day, this leaked tape, whether real, fake, or somewhere in between, has already changed the landscape. It's forced fans to question loyalty. It's rattled the industry, and it's given prosecutors fresh ammo to play with. Whether Thug and Durk can weather the storm or whether this marks the beginning of a permanent fracture remains to be seen. But one thing we do know, hip-hop is watching, and the streets will remember. And the streets will remember.